All right, hi everybody. Welcome to this week's tutorial, and it's all going to be based off of the colors that we discussed in the last newsletter. The colors of March, which were aquamarine, sage green, soft yellow, blush pink, lavender, and cream. And I thought it might be kind of fun to just do a quick little tutorial about some 3 and 4 leaf clovers. It's St. Patty's Day tomorrow. We have sage green in our colors that I'm going to use. And so I just thought that would be kind of fun and a great idea. So what I have is a 5x7 watercolor paper card. It's already cut to the size, and I have just taped it down so I can protect my edges and give it some nice clean edges when I'm done here. Now, I am going to start, I've basically taken a pencil and I've drew a really light sketch on my paper of 3 little clovers, but I am going to focus on my background first, okay? So what I want to do is I want to add water to this background. So I have a large round brush, watercolor brush here, and I've got it really loaded with lots of water. There's lots of water in there. And I'm just going to lightly go around the outside edge of my clovers. My background colors, I'm going to go with the light yellow and or the cream. So also the thing about watercolors you got to remember is once you do something, you really got to let it sit up and dry before you do the next step, which would be the clovers after this. So I'm going to go in and do the clovers after my background dries. And the reason that is because if anything's wet, that watercolor is going to bleed right into that set. And I don't want that to happen right now. I will come back and we will start on the clovers themselves. So I've got my background, and I did at one point go back in and put in a little bit more color because it was just a little bit too light for me. Get this top little clover wet. I'm going to do the first 2 leaves, and again I'm just loosely filling in those areas with some water. And I'm going to go into some sap green, which is also sage green, dropping in some color. I think I want a little bit darker color there, so I'm going to put some dark green. There we go. We've got our first little shamrock there in the traditional colors, but we also we had blush pink, I think, and a lavender or a bright pink. So I think my little clover down here is going to be those are going to be the colors for that. So again, we're playing with our colors that we talked about for the month of March. And again, I'm just going to start by putting some water down in between those leaves. And I'm starting with this one because this clover touches my big one and it's still wet and that needs to dry. Okay, we are back, and I'm going to do my third clover, and I am going to lean into the aquamarine. So sticking to that same dark blue that I was using earlier, I'm going to go in and kind of create these little dark centers. So at this point you can do any little details. You can add any little details if you want to go back and work on some of the outline. So I have some metallic watercolors, and I am just going to take a very small brush with for detail, and I'm just going to highlight some areas. So like I'm just going to put some of the gold around the center. I could also outline. You can always do this with a gold pen, paint pen, and you can always do a different color as well. I am using gold. Just for some extra little fun, you can take your, like a big round brush, right? And you can sop it, basically get quite a bit of moisture and paint. And if you gently tap it against your hand and do some splatter work, it can add some fun texture to your painting. And it doesn't, you know, it can go all over. It can, even though I had a frame here before, this kind of helps bring the whole card together by going outside that frame. Guys, have fun with it. You can use anything you want, any medium you want. This I just chose to do in watercolor, and you can always, you're welcome to follow along and do those sort of things. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. All right, everybody, happy St. Patty's Day, and I hope everybody has a great week.